afternoon, everybody. Your boy Matty B coming at you with the Birds Blast with 94 WIP's Kyle Quinn. And I got some of that 2026 vibes going on. Happy New Year to all of you out there that are listening. Kyle Quinn, welcome back. Had some scheduling issues last week because of the holidays. Understood. Happy New Year, my friend. How are you doing in this brand newest of brand new years?
Well, Happy New Year to you, Matt, and to everybody listening. I'm sorry I missed you last week, but I hope everyone had a chance to enjoy the holidays and, maybe and a chance to enjoy New Year's Eve last night.
I definitely had some fun last night, and I hope everyone else did as well, Kyle. But we got some business to attend to. So Big Al stepped in, as he does from time to time when you're not available, and he did okay. It's not the same with Big Al, but I do appreciate the help. But Kyle, we had a football game last week. Eagles-Bills, man, the clash of the Titans, Super Bowl 60 preview, potentially in a lot of people's eyes. Did it live up to your expectations?
Well, I mean, yeah, just because I expected. Let me say this: I predicted a Bills win, full transparency. But at least, in terms of what kind of games the Eagles play for the majority of the season, you can really describe almost every game, besides that 3-game stretch, as big win on paper, but one that we're all, we all feel disgusted about after watching, and everybody's mad, and everybody's playing the blame game about a win. It's more of the same there, But nonetheless, I mean, going on the road in Buffalo is a big spot against a good team, and it's good to get a win out there no matter how it looks.
Oh, I disagree, Kyle Quinn, vehemently, and we're gonna start breaking this bad boy down. 13-12 was the final score, and of course, those of you, and we all know how it all ended. Josh Allen stifled all game long by that Philadelphia Eagle defense. Not quite as good as the 2024 version of the Eagle defense, but definitely a reasonable facsimile. They can start creating more turnovers, then they will eclipse their 2024 counterparts. But Josh Allen was harassed all night long, and the Eagle defense really just did a great job, as they have been doing pretty much throughout the season. But still, with all that being said, Josh Allen came within a, thrown off of a bad back foot to win in that football game at the end. And, we're going to go right. I'm not going to the defense first because that would be a too easy one for you, Kyle. Let's go to that Philadelphia Eagle offense. The second time in 2025 that the team has not completed a pass in a half of football. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, the Eagles have invested about $200 million into that offense. Mm-hmm. And now we're talking multiple games where they have not completed a pass and a half of football. Yep. Kyle, I got to ask you, I know that's the flavor and talent. The defense is going to have to be the ones to do it for them. Can they do it? Can the defense carry this football team to a championship? And the second part is, what the hell happened in the second half?
Well, can they? Yeah. Will they? I mean, that remains to be seen. I would even argue that the defense, just based on the competition that they played, the quarterbacks this season, and given the amount of losses that they had, I could argue they've been more impressive than last year. Just based on the difficulty, especially the fact that they have to prop up such a horrendous offense that can't pull away from anybody, right? Like the defense being put in bad spots, and yet they still come through week after week. That was one of the more impressive games by the defense. I know it was bad weather and stuff, but to hold Josh Allen and the Bills scoreless for 55 minutes essentially in an entire football game in Buffalo is it's tough. Now with the offense, I don't know what people expect anymore. Like we're now the book is closed on the Eagles offense in terms of the regular season for this season, right? They're not going to play in the regular season anymore. The starters are resting this week. That was what the offense was. That's what the offense is. Like I didn't go into this game expecting the offense to suddenly flip a switch. So I guess I'm just done I'm done ripping my hair out about it. Like this is what they are. This is what they're going to have to be in the postseason. Look, the defense is going to have to put them in situations where in the playoffs, maybe the offense has to score 21 points. We're just going to have to hope and pray that they're able to score the 21 points, which seems like it's a high mountain to climb here. But, that's the bar. I mean, that's going to be the formula for the Eagles to win in the postseason this year.
And it's interesting that you kind of led into the offense. It's no longer a question of whether or not the offense is broken. This is what the offense is. There is nothing broken about the offense as far as what the coaches are saying or what the coaches are wanting to see. There's no fixes involved here. This is what they are. Is that what you're trying to relay to the people out there?
Well, I think that's the reality of the situation. Like, do you I mean, would anybody argue that there's something different deep inside when I mean, it's never showed up at really any point this season. If they put together 4 quarters of good football, maybe the one Giants game, maybe the one Vikings game, but like, those are tomato can football teams. The Raiders game, sure, again, another tomato can. Like, I don't know how anybody can possibly dispute that this is just what the offense is.
So let's talk about the other eternal conflict here in the city. Kevin Patullo versus Nick Sirianni versus Jalen Hurts versus the Eagles fan base. Obviously, it's all season long. We've been hearing about it. And, I think we should kind of err on the side of what you think about the offense. No more. It's not worth our time anymore. It's sort of critique it or get upset or get angry about it. It is what it is. And honestly, Kyle, I still prescribe that Kevin Patullo is doing an outstanding job as an offensive coordinator. I really think he is, because I think it really stems with the fact that they don't trust Jalen Hurts to turn him loose. Maybe they got a bad taste in their mouth with the Charger game. I don't know, but I don't understand why you would, if you have all these elite players and an elite quarterback that everybody seems to think Jalen is. I know he's not. You know he's not. But this is the type of offense you're going to get when obviously the coaches don't think that as well of Jalen Hurts. They don't trust him to cut him free. Would you agree?
Yeah, and it's a chicken or the egg thing with that. I wouldn't say Patullo's done an outstanding job. I think he hasn't been as terrible as a lot of people have made him out to be, like he's the devil, because of the reasons that you said. And I think there's still a good chance that they bring him back next season. I think a lot of their issues are, less so, like the scheme is going to be what it is because of what you said, like the type of talent that they have on offense, the type of talent that they have quarterback. A lot of the stuff I think that are plaguing the offense are, their communication issues, pre-snap stuff, miscommunication, things like that, which I think are all symptoms of a first-year coordinator. Not just like a first-year coordinator for the Eagles, but a first-year play caller, like in his history in the NFL. This guy's never called plays in the NFL at that level. So those are things that I think you could reasonably look at if you're the Eagles and that going into this offseason and say, those are things that with an offseason we can sort of iron out. And then, when you clean that stuff up, maybe the product on the field's a little bit better. Maybe the offensive line starts playing better. There's better communication on the field, stuff like that. But for whatever reason, whether it's the O-line, Saquon, Jalen Hurts, whatever, the offense just isn't. I still think there is something like the offense could be better than this, but not this year. I don't think anybody should be expecting it all of a sudden to flip a switch in the postseason.
Jalen Hurts, 13 for 27 with a touchdown and 110 yards passing. Again, no completions in the second half. Saquon Barkley, 68 yards on 19 carries. A.J. Brown, 5 receptions and 68 yards. Those were your offensive leaders for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's flip the script back to the defense again. It's been a absolute pleasure sort of to watch how this group has sort of come together. And I was really critical of the defense heading into the season because I thought the criminal negligence of your fraud GM, Howie Roseman, really screwed the defense with letting a lot of these contributors walk away. But I'm going to eat some crow on that because the defense has definitely grown into itself. Jalen Carter back in the lineup, back full strength, back to blocking everything, field goals, passes, poking people in the eye, back to doing all the things that Jalen Carter, now that he's got a free range of mobility, can do. Yeah. Let's talk about that defense, Kyle. They were, again, up just like they did the Goff, like they did the Stafford, just like they did the Mahomes, just like they did the Love. You can go down the list all season long, just harassing Josh Allen all night long.
Yeah, they were awesome. I mean, Jalen Hunt's really coming into his own. He's probably, him or Jalen Phillips have been their best edge rushers, I think, at least since the trade deadline. And you mentioned, but Jordan Davis has been a beast all season long. Yeah. Jalen Carter, though, I mean, man, you saw what like a fully healthy and fully like spry Jalen Carter could look like and what he does for this defense. Like he's doing everything. I mean, he's throwing offensive linemen aside, getting up there, blocking, just doing dynamic Jalen Carter things. And I mean, there was a report that he couldn't even do a push-up. before he had to get that injection in his shoulder. And I mean, like, it really looks like they've worked wonders for Jalen Carter, because he looked like last year's Jalen Carter. That's huge going into the postseason, and like, just talk about like another breath of life for this team and for this defense going into the postseason. Like, if they get a healthy Jalen Carter, look out. The defense could really, really do some damage.
Josh Allen did get some yardage, though. I mean, they were able to move the football, and this was mainly late in the game, though. He was 23 for 35 with 262 yards, no touchdowns. James Cook, 74 yards on 20 carries. And Brandon Cooks, 4 receptions. He did go over the 100-yard mark, but it was all between the 20s until the very end, when that Buffalo finally did cash in with a tush push. And then they made the run there at the end. But all's well that ends well. 13-12 as the Eagles get the win in rainy Orchard Park. Let's do some birds blasting stat pack. 1 for 2 in the red zone. I mean, all the offensive numbers we could talk about. Obviously, we can go back to one root cause. 29 for 41 on the season. Kyle, they're about to dip under 70% in the red zone. Again, it's a symptom of a bigger problem with this team. And yes, we're going to resign ourselves to saying the defense is going to have to carry them, but they got to cash in when they get deep into the red zone. They got to at least figure that part out in order to be successful in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And, I don't know what the league average number is for that percentage that you threw out around the red zone, but that was always something that I expected to sort of regress back to the mean a little bit from the early, they were like 100%, 90% early in the season. But, I don't think 70% is awful or below league average. I wouldn't guess it is.
For a $200 million offense, to me, it's below average.
Well, the offense, look, they're big the bar should $200 million. They're well below that. That's over and done with.
Eagles didn't rack out 13 points in the first half. They've now scored. They've gone over 200 points in first half, scoring 204, 12.35 or 12.75 per half. 0 points in the second half. 0, 0, 0s across the board for the Eagles in the second half. 160 points in the second half. 10 points per second half all season long. Everybody out there, remember those numbers as we go into the postseason. There might be a test at the end when all this is over with. The Eagles only committed 3 penalties for 36 yards, 108 penalties now on the year. The march to 1,000 might have been stopped because of some really refined discipline play over the past 3 weeks. I'm going to give the Eagles credit for that. 850 penalties now on the season. Kyle, do you think that, again, paying attention to sort of limiting the penalties, limiting the turnovers, is part of the metrics for success for the 2025 Eagles? Is that a newfound sort of discipline that they're going to try to focus on? I mean, look, it helps. For an offense that's struggled as much as it has, it doesn't help when you're getting pre-snap penalties and you're playing 20, second and 20 or first and 20 all the time. Like, they need every little bit of an edge that they can get on offense. And, it might not ultimately turn into a high flying affair, but I mean, it will at least help them move the ball down the field. And I think the number one thing, and this is how far we've lowered the bar, is that they just need to stay on the field for longer periods of time and not put their defense in these really disadvantageous positions at the end of games. But you said it, like in the postseason, we should probably get ready for a few hairy nail biters here, where the defense has to come through at the end of a game again, just like they did in Buffalo. Time of possession, boys. We got to win the time of possession. All right. The Eagles did force 1 turnover. Again, I did make a comment earlier that the one thing that the 2025 Eagle defense has not figured out yet, and that is to really start getting the turnovers, because that was key to the 2024's defensive success, especially in the postseason. They forced 13 turnovers in 4 games last year in the postseason, really helping their way to win a Super Bowl. So far, only 19 on the season, still over 1 a game, Kyle. Yep. You want to see that number get a little turned up, though, because that's about the one thing they're not doing excellently right now as a defense. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd love it if it did. That was a big part of why they won so many games last season and why they went deep into the postseason and won the Super Bowl. They started forcing turnovers, and I would even bet, I don't know the numbers, I could be making this up, that they probably got better and better at that as the season went on. I expect the same from this defense. Well, absolutely. I've said it multiple times on the show. Last season, going into week 9, they had only forced, I think, like 11 turnovers, and they finished the season with 31. Heading into the postseason. No, it was an amazing turnaround. No turnovers committed again by the Eagles offense or defense 14 now on the season, less than 1 a game. They got to, or the Bills got to Jalen once for 2 yards. They got to Josh Allen, again, harassing the crap out of him all night, 5 times for 51 yards.
Yeah.
0 for 0 on 4th down. And one of those sacks, Kyle, one of the most, Josh Allen's an MVP candidate. But that thing where he was running back and forth and he loops back around, it's got to be, that's a sign of a quarterback that was frustrated by a defense right there.
Yeah, and I think a guy that was trying to do a little bit too much, and that's I think a symptom of not having too much talent around him. Think about it this way: Brandon Cooks was getting all the targets for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Brandon Cooks, I mean, that dude might be like 50 years old at this point, but I mean, we've seen this with quarterbacks before. That sack was one of the more Carson Wentz hero ball-esque sacks that I've seen. I mean, that was a ridiculously bad sack for Josh Allen to take. That's why I laughed when you said the sack yardage for Allen, because 20 of those yards were on that one play.
Yes, it was. And the Eagles were again 0 for 0 on 4th down conversions. They did not go for it. They've only gone for it 18 times all season on 4th down. That is way down from last year. Way down. And,
and I mean, the tush push is all but faded into obscurity, and that's I mean, look, I wonder if they try and go back to it in the playoffs, but that's going to be something to watch big time.
Absolutely, and all that comes to a 13-12 Eagles victory, and sort of puts them in a position now. And we're going to get into this week's game. Well, little show disclaimer here: we're not going to waste time going X's and O's against the Commanders. We may talk very briefly about what we might want to see from certain players, because obviously we're going to see a lot of younger players, and Tanner McKee will get his chance. So we're not going to really schematically break down this Commanders game, but puts them in a position heading to Week 18. Now, Kyle, the NFL decided we're going to flex the Eagles Commanders games at 4:30, but we're also going to flex the game that the Eagles fans out there are going to want to see the most, and that's the Bears Lions, also at 4:30.
Yeah.
Why in the hell? One, why would you take an Eagles Commanders game, put that on 4:30? And if you're going to do that, fine. Leave the Bears and Lions at 1 o'clock, so at least the Eagles know going into the game what ultimately they have to do. What is up with the NFL scheduling now? 2 Saturday night games for divisions on the line, and then the Sunday night game for a division too. But let's focus in on the Eagles scheduling issue.
Well, but that's why they do it, Matt. I mean, they would rather have the Eagles and Bears both think that they're playing for something. Just to increase the viewership, then like say the Bears win, then all of a sudden the Eagles Commanders game is completely meaningless. At the very least, they can have eyes on both games saying, this means something and this means something. That's why they do it. I mean, the Bucks and the Panthers game, like that game is meaningless if Atlanta wins. That's why they have that game before the Atlanta game. I mean, they want as many meaningful games, at least going into them, as possible. That's just a good way for them to get viewership numbers.
So the NFL doesn't. So you're saying the NFL doesn't care about the teams or the fans that root these teams on?
No, I care about the money.
Oh no, man, that's some news here. I agree with what Kyle Quinn is saying. Kyle, you did pick the Buffalo Bills to win this game, 24-23. I had the Bills as well. You had Cook as your game MVP. I had Josh Allen. Maybe make it an excuse for Josh Allen or an argument for Josh Allen if the Bills won. They didn't. Jalen Carter?
Yeah, you could be. Yeah, I think Jalen Carter's a good one. Yeah, I mean now that I think about it, that blocked extra point was probably the biggest play in the entire game.
It was.
So.
All right, so Jalen Carter will get nods for the game MVP. Oh man, what am I now? I'm 1 for 14 or 1 and 14. No, I'm 1 and 15. You're 2 and what? Yeah, 2 and 4. I'm 1 and 15. You're 2 and 14 on guessing these game MVPs.
Got you beat.
Completely a disgrace by both of us this year on this stuff, man. I mean, come on, Kyle. Come on. All right. Let's flip the script, though. We do have a football game in Philly, season finale. Kelly Green. We're going with the Kelly Greens in a game that means nothing. Obviously, I think the schedule makers back in May really thought this game would have meant something. Thankfully for Eagles fans, it doesn't. We got about a high of about 38, low of about 21 on Sunday. Nothing I see in the realm of rain or snow should affect this football game. Injury report. Let's really mute Kyle. They're not playing anybody, right? It doesn't matter what the Commanders play. It does, and the Eagles are playing their backup, so we're not going to waste time with injuries. But we are going to talk. What in a game like this, where it means nothing for the Eagles, and it might mean something for the Commanders. We'll discuss the bad blood that still exists maybe between these two football teams. But are you looking to see something specific or particular from certain players? The 2025 Eagle draft class hasn't been the best. Yeah. A lot of these kids have not seen the field. A lot of these kids will still see their first real playing time come Sunday. Are you looking for anything on Sunday in this football game?
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see this play caller with this backup quarterback.
Does he do it? Does he turn Tanner McKee loose and McKee puts up 450 yards and 5 touchdowns?
I got to tell you, if that happens, I know we'll have a playoff game next week, but man, is it going to be tough to ignore.
That is a good point, everybody out there. And I know a lot of the Hurts huggers don't want to see that. They do not want to see that. And, of course, the McKeesters do, as these sides will definitely be at war on Sunday. Let's get to the Commanders and the bad blood. A couple weeks ago in another meaningless football game. Apparently, it was meaningful for the Commanders. Nick Sirianni decides to analytically go for 2 at the end of that football game, which I don't know. I mean, you had Josh Johnson on the other side of the. Who cares if you got the? Who cares what analytics said? That game was over. Game was over when they came out into the second half. That pissed off what's his name, Quinn over there, and he made some comments. Kyle, are the Commanders going to come out looking for blood?
I mean, maybe, but so Dan Quinn was complaining about it. Josh Johnson complaining about it too, saying the same stuff. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Like, dude, you're Josh Johnson. What are you going to do? Man. They're not going to do anything. I mean, look,
Josh Johnson, are you sure you're going to be here in 2 weeks? I mean, come on, man.
Like they might be petty, and they're probably going to throw their starters out there, and they're going to want to get licks in and stuff. But it's going to be our backups. I mean, look, I'll tell you this: if I'm Sirianni and we get the chance, I'm running that score up again. Let's be petty. Screw the Commanders.
Especially with Tanner McKee. Let's run this. Because you'll be getting boos from both sides.
Yeah. Look, go for 2 every time you score.
And you know what, Kyle? In all honesty, are you wanting to see them let McKee loose? And all the kidding aside, shouldn't we see what McKee can do?
Of course. I mean, for one, it's good to just have you want to have your backup quarterback at as many reps as possible in case Jalen Hurts does go down. I'm curious to see it just because of my curiosity in terms of what why the offense has looked the way that it has all season long. And then maybe look, you showcase him and you get a high draft pick for him next season in the off season, right? Like there's a variety of reasons to do it. But yeah, why not go have some fun? Tanner McKee's he's not just like a run the ball type QB. He doesn't add that sort of a threat with his legs and stuff. So the way they're going to have to run this offense is let him stand in the pocket and let it loose. So I'm very curious to see that. And we won't overthink this Monday morning, right? As a Philadelphia Eagle fan base, we're not going to. We're not going to we're not going to overhype any of this stuff. No. We hate the backup quarterback here.
Yeah, we do. All right, Kyle. But I do listen. I know we're not going to break this down, but give me one key matchup that you're looking to see. And you can do the same one you just talked about. That's fine. Yeah,
I mean, like probably. Man, see, it's hard because I don't even know who's playing. I'll go with Tanner McKee versus Dan Quinn. How about that?
There you go. That's a good one. I also am going Tanner McKee versus Dan Quinn. I wasn't as specific. I said against the entire Redskin defense.
Yep.
I do want to see what McKee has, man. I think it's give him an opportunity. What do you got to lose?
See what Bigsby has too.
What's that?
See what Tank Bigsby has too.
Tank Bigsby, Shipley. I mean, some of these kids might be playing for jobs next year. Yeah, like Shipley might be playing for a job in 2026.
Yep. So definitely want to see what these guys look like.
Absolutely. Maybe Ty Robinson, cycle him in there, see what he can do.
Yep.
He's still with the team. AJ Dillon. Does AJ dust off his helmet this week?
I don't know. I think he's been sent to the brig ever since the positivity rabbit. So,
all right. Give me some Keys Eagles victory. Come on.
Oh, you're killing me, dude. I don't know. I mean, one, I don't care. Two, I don't care. Three, I don't give a crap.
Okay. Mine is fast game.
Loose.
Yeah, well, let's have a fast game. Let's no injuries and let the boys play. So there we go. There's our insight expert keys the Eagles victory. With that being said, Kyle, I am a slave to procedure, so we got to do this. It's week 18.
Yep.
Which I want to address week 18 here after we're done with this, but we got to do it, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you picked Buffalo. I picked Buffalo last week. You are now 8-8 picking them. I am now 5-11. So we got to finish out strong, Kyle Quinn. Give me a score, give me a winner, and give me a game MVP.
All right, so this is for a positive record here. I'm going to go Eagles. Let's set this thing ablaze. I'll go Eagles 30-10. Tanner McKee is the MVP.
I like that. 30-10, Philadelphia, and Tanner McKee. All right, I'm going. Oh man, I'm going 12-10 Commanders.
Oh,
and Terry McLaurin is your. If he's playing, I don't even know if he's playing. But
10.
Terry McLaurin, yeah, I don't know. I think Sam Howell makes an appearance at some point in this game.
Oh, that'd be fun. So
that's why I'm going with the low score. Maybe McKee puts up to 10 points. All right, Kyle. Here we go. We're at week 18. Before I give you the question of the week, I can't believe it's over. We are right here at the end of the season. Now, a little programming note for the Birds Blast. We will now be on the air as far as the Eagles dictate. As we'll be back next week for a wild card preview. And then after that, it's if they win, we're back. If they do not win, we won't see you until after the Super Bowl, the Thursday after the Super Bowl, when we'll wrap things up. I cannot believe, Kyle, that we're at another regular season. Looking back now on the 16 weeks, 17 weeks, how long it's been. Expectation-wise on the regular season, Kyle Quinn, how does it fit you for this football team coming out of the Super Bowl?
So, I mean, look, I predicted before the season, I think 12 wins, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 12
I think I was at 12. So, look, and this game doesn't matter, so I'm not going to be a slave to that exact number, the prediction. But it also does matter how it looks. I think anyone who predicted 11 wins in 2023 wasn't satisfied with the way that they arrived at 11 wins. I think I'm ultimately pretty satisfied with arriving at this because, look, I mean, this thing had the potential to go off the rails, seriously, and for them to just go down the tubes for a repeat of 2023, and they didn't. To their credit, they pulled it together. Whether you want to say it's because of a crappy schedule or not, that team lost crappy teams by the end of the season, couldn't beat anybody. This team got it together, stuck with each other. And not only beat two bad teams, but they got a win in Buffalo against a playoff caliber opponent. So, I mean, we'll see. The expectations obviously are they're going to be hinging on what happens in the postseason here. But just in terms of the regular season, I think I am at least satisfied that they didn't let this thing go completely off the rails.
So I think the whole collapse narrative is still in play. It depends on what they do in the playoffs. If they go out and they lose in the first round and they get handily just beat because earlier was that Mickey Delaney puts up a win is a win is a win, Matt. Mickey, don't ever say that to me. All right. I'm so sick and tired of hearing win is a win is a win. I heard it every week in 23 and I heard it a lot this year. Oh, yeah. It's not, listen, it's almost like we're from Philly. We don't care. Bullcrap. We do care. So don't give me the win is a win is a win. Every Eagle fan, no matter how pious you want to be, deep down is analyzing everything that's happening inside that football game and is not feeling good about the way the offense is playing.
A win is a win in the playoffs, Matt.
I will give you that.
I mean, if they win 3-0 in the Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you get the trophy. Yeah. All right, Kyle. Question of the week time. This is gonna be playoff centered though, because we have a good idea who the teams are. I mean, we do for the most part, right?
Yeah.
A couple of wild cards there that might get thrown in here, but we do know that the likely first round opponents for the Eagles would be either the Packers, the Rams, or the Niners. Now, out of those three teams, I want you to tell me who you think the most complete team is, and I want you to tell me what you think the best offensive team is out of those.
Well, I think the Rams are both. I think the Rams have the best combination of offense and defense. Actually, FanDuel has put up hypothetical betting lines for all of the three Eagles wildcard matchups. Against the Niners, the Eagles are favored by 2.5. Against the Packers, the Eagles are favored by 3. And against the Rams, the Eagles are 1.5 point underdogs at home. So that's reflected in that. I would still look, the Niners are red hot offensively. They don't have a good defense, so they're definitely not complete. The Packers are falling apart.
Yeah.
Their defense fell apart since Micah Parsons went out. The Ravens with a backup quarterback just dragged their defense up and down the field, and their offense has always been up and down. So they're the least complete. They're probably the team I'd want to face the most. Niners could give us trouble with the way that their offense has been playing, but they don't have a good defense. But look, I mean, the Rams have Stafford, who's in MVP contention this season. They have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams back when he gets healthy, and one of the best play callers in the league. So they're definitely the biggest threat offensively, and I think they're the biggest threat just in general. They're probably the team that I would want to see the least of anybody in the NFL postseason. So I would have to go with the Rams.
So are you favoring an Eagle-Packer first-round matchup?
I mean, the only way that happens is if we do get the win and the Bears lose and we're the 2 seed, we're the 2-7. But yeah, that would be the most ideal. But again, if we're not beating the Rams and we're not beating the Niners, then what are we doing here? You know, we're trying to win the ultimate thing here. So I'm not looking for a handout or an easy path here. Eventually, we're going to have to beat a good team if we want to go all the way. So bring it on. Get the Rams out of the way in the first round.
Well, yeah, you have to. I mean, because to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you can't avoid them. You're going to have to see them at some point.
Yep.
Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks are probably the biggest enigma, and not mainly because I know Sam Darnold's history, and I have not watched 1 second of Seahawk football in 2025. I know their defense allegedly is legit.
Yep.
Sam Darnold is not. Are they the paper tigers in the NFC, you think?
Maybe. Yeah, it's tough to say paper tiger because I do think their defense is really good. It depends on what Sam Darnold you're going to get. I mean, he's one of those doesn't play well in big games QBs with one of those allegation guys. So he did have a good game against the Rams a few weeks ago. That was an awesome game and a big win for Darnold. But, we saw last season with the Vikings, he crapped the bed in a big way in the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, and just in terms of quarterbacks and experienced quarterbacks in the postseason, probably them or the Bears with Caleb Williams. You want to get one of those unseasoned guys, especially if you're a team that's been there, done that before.
So would you put the Seahawks offensive issues with the Eagles offensive issues? Would you compare them quarterback-wise or scheme-wise?
No, I think the Seahawks offense has been better than the Eagles offense.
Okay, so with the Seahawks and Eagles potentially play each other in the playoffs, we're looking at a what, 10-9 football game?
Maybe. I don't know. It's that one. The thing that would give me the hope there is that you're going up against Sam Darnold. That's what it'd be.
Okay. All right, Kyle. Listen, it's New Year's Day, and I want to do something here. I'm not big on these prediction things, but I want to ask you this prediction thing in a kind of a different way. I want you to give me your bold Philadelphia Eagles take in 2026. Something that's going to happen to this football team in this calendar year. I just something bold, something big, something beautiful that Kyle Quinn can stand behind at the end and say, "I told you so." That's going to happen.
I don't know how big and beautiful it is, but I will say I'll give you a twofer. Kevin Batula is back as OC next year, and no Jalen Hurts extension.
Okay. I'm going to go big time. I'm coming off the top rope. And I put this out on our social media site, and it's grown some legs. And boy, I'm getting a lot of negative feedback on it. But A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts get dealt to the Las Vegas Raiders for Crosby, Bowers, and the Raiders' first-round pick in 2026.
I mean, because that's insane.
What's that insane? Would you make that deal?
Well, because it's never going to happen. I mean,
I know that, but would you if you had the opportunity to make it happen? Would you make it happen?
I wouldn't immediately dismiss it. I would have to think about it.
Yeah, I agree. Can you imagine Max Crosby running loose in this defense?
I know. And look, we've tried to spend money on a big money edge rusher guy. So we went for Parsons. I think they went for Garrett. Wouldn't surprise me.
And Crosby's under contract through 2029.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look, that's about as bold as it gets. Because that's fantasy land.
well, we can dream, or I can. That's what I do in most of my life anyway. All right, Kyle, listen, I want to thank you for coming on, and again, wish you a happy New Year. Before I let you go, tell the folks out there where they can find you.
Yeah, so on radio, WIP 94.1 every Monday through Friday, 10 to 2. Tomorrow I'll actually be hosting. I'll be filling in the Joe Giglio chair, but then after that, it's your regular Monday through Friday on the midday show. Of course, on Twitter @_Kyle_Quinn.
All right, Kyle. Next week we're going to talk all playoffs all the time. So we'll catch up next week. Have a good rest of your weekend, and go Birds, Kyle.
Can't wait, man. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, dude.
All right, Kyle Quinn, everybody, my man. Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, their first round pick for Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Tell me you wouldn't do that. I'd do it in a heartbeat, man. Again, I said this on my show the other night. You tell me what Jalen Hurts really cannot. Tell me about Jalen Hurts what cannot be replaced. But I can dream. All right. Let's move on to our pick'em segment. This is the final segment, actually the final pick'em segment of the 2025 regular season. If the Eagles and the Hawks win, then the Hawks will win sat all game, and the NFC will be in Seattle. Yes, they will have the number one seeding, Mickey Delaney. And everyone's got the path through the Super Bowl will go through Seattle. Listen, the path through the Super Bowl is going through somewhere else other than Philadelphia. I agree with that. But all right, NFL pick'ems. Last week, 8-8. Terrible week. Worst week of the season. No, actually, I was 7-9 once. Second worst week of the season. 153-81 as I'll go into week 18 in the hardest week. This is the hardest week other than week 1 to pick because you never know what you're going to get either in week 1 or in week 18. You can pretty much sort of trace the dots and fill in the lines as you move through the season. But week 18 is a crapshoot. And here we go. I do have the Commanders beating the Eagles just because, well, why not? I'm holding true to what I said after that Chargers game that I don't think the Eagles will win again, which has not come true. I have the Saints and the Falcons. Give me the Falcons, the Jets, and the Buffalo Bills. That Buffalo will rebound, and they will destroy the Jets. Detroit versus Chicago. Give me Chicago. I think the Bears win that football game. I think Detroit's done. Cleveland, Cincinnati, the Chargers, and the Broncos. Give me the Broncos. KC versus the Raiders. Yes, going with the Chiefs. I could be starting for a quarterback against the Raiders and win. Arizona and the Rams, give me the Rams. Green Bay, Minnesota. Green Bay, Miami, New England. Dallas and the Giants, give me the Giants. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. I like the Baltimore Ravens winning that division. Seattle and San Francisco. I like San Francisco. I think San Francisco is better than Seattle. Carolina versus Tampa. Give me Carolina. Tennessee versus Jackson. Give me Jacksonville. And Indy and Houston. Give me Houston. And that'll wrap me up. My final pick'em of the regular season. Next week, we'll be breaking down playoff games. So we'll have some fun doing that. But that is going to take me to the end of the Birds Blast, everybody. I want to wish you all a Happy New Year, but don't forget, I'm not going away. I'll be back here a little bit later on tonight for the final word with Matty B, New Year's Day Spectacular. And then tomorrow you got the Philly Friday Frenzy with Big Al. Saturday, we got some post-gaming to do. And then Sunday, a big day of action on the network. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. Again, I wish everybody out there a very Happy New Year. I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday time. It's time to get back to reality, which I'm definitely on board to do. Whatever classifies as reality for me. So we will talk later on tonight, folks. You guys enjoy the rest of your New Year's Day. I want to thank Kyle Quinn again for joining me. And we'll see you guys later tonight. See ya.